think they heard you in Capitol Hill. Let's try that again. Recovery is real. Greetings, my name is Sarah Ahern. I hail from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and I am also the founder of End the Stigma, Enough is Enough. Before I begin, I would be remiss if I did not mention a great injustice that has been 60 years in the making. The injustice to which I'm speaking is one committed against communities of color who lost their battle with the disease of addiction or mental health because no one cared. There were no vigils, no compassion, and no anti-stigma campaigns. The only way out was jail through a failed war on drugs campaign or death. Even today, in the most progressive state in the Union, my home state of Massachusetts, there has been a 200% increase in overdose deaths in the same communities, all while our leaders applaud a reduction. In whom? People like me, not people like Rhonda. We need to do better, and it starts with us. So I respectfully request that we hold a moment of silence for all the lives lost. Thank you. So again, my name is Sarah Ahern. I am a woman in long-term dual recovery, which means for me, I'm a woman in recovery from substance use disorder and a woman in recovery from trauma for greater than 4 years. Openly declaring being in recovery in this society comes with risk and fear. Why, you say? I can answer that in one word: stigma. Stigma is defined as a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or person. In the recovery world, it is defined as a strong lack of disrespect for a person or group of people, or a bad opinion of them because they have done something society doesn't approve of. In this moment in time, during the worst addiction and mental health epidemic this nation has ever seen, with over 200 beautiful lives lost daily, including 4 of my own, this is simply unacceptable and dangerous. Recovery movement leader William White says this about the dangers of stigma. Stigma is an object of shame. Stigma feeds into the forces of isolation and denial that pushes people deeper into the addictive process and farther away from a medical response to addiction and towards what might seem like an easy answer, simply punishing its symptoms. All this adds up to many people who need help are not getting it, even though we have both the technology to treat addiction and a full range of mutual help networks to support ongoing recovery. Stigma tells me I can't talk openly about my recovery because it makes someone else feel uncomfortable. Stigma tells me I'm not trustworthy. Stigma tells me I'm unemployable. Stigma tells me I won't ever recover. But the biggest impact stigma has, and is our choice of language, are the words we choose. Words hurt and often do. Terms like junkie, addict, clean, crazy are often used in reference to individuals like me and are not only hurtful, but stigmatizing language is still identified as the biggest barrier for someone struggling to access the vital help they need, which can result in death. This important conversation regarding language is just not a local one, but a national one. And individuals in recovery or recovery advocates have created a movement of millions to lead and further this conversation at all levels to inform, educate, and include everyone in this conversation. Change happens slowly, but with persistence and perseverance, we will create a new norm. In the recovery world, we use person-centered or person-first language. I am not my disease. I am a human being with substance use disorder. I am a human being with mental health challenges. Using hurtful language can also negatively impact the way society perceives substance use disorder and mental health and the people impacted by it. But most importantly, it can affect how individuals think about themselves and their own capacity to change. Language can promote stigma. Many of you may not know that I'm a woman of many words, but you need to know that I'm a doer. So now I'm going to request that all of you take a concrete action step with me today to break stigma in an open and transparent way. I would like for all of you to take the anti-stigma pledge, and I'd like thank the Graken Center in Boston, Massachusetts, and former White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, Michael Botticelli, for creating this document. When I'm finished, you can get your copy to sign over at where you signed up if you're a vendor or volunteer. The pledge states simply, I believe that words I use in talking about substance use disorder are important in reducing stigma. I pledge to treat all people with substance use disorder with dignity and respect. I pledge to talk about addiction as a chronic illness and not a moral failing. I pledge to be a leader in reducing stigma and promoting recovery from this disease. For those in dual recovery like myself or co-occurring disorders, please feel free to add your own terms to the pledge. I am further challenging those that are comfortable to take a selfie of themselves with the pledge and post it to my End the Stigma Enough is Enough Facebook page, because to truly break stigma, you must do so in an open, transparent way. With that being said, in my world, we believe in meeting people where they're at. So it's okay if some are not comfortable posting, but please read the words in the pledge and practice using them. And for further reference, please go online and search for the Addiction-ARY, which is an online resource for more example. And remember, words hurt, and try to be helpful and not hurtful with them. So you may be wondering why I've taken the risk to share with you so openly today. It's simple for me, really, so that my light of recovery will shine so brightly that others still in the darkness may find their way out. I leave you with a quote from the film Judgment at Nuremberg by Judge Dan Haywood. There are those in the country today who speak of protection of the country, of survival. The answer is, survival is what? A country isn't a rock. It isn't an extension of oneself. It is what it stands for when standing for something is the most difficult. Before the people of the world, let it be noted in our decision here that this is what we stand for: justice, truth, and the value of a single human being. I wish to thank Ms. Rhonda Johnson and the rest of the committee for giving me the honor of speaking today, and all of you for being here. Be kind to one another. Peace.
You need to understand and accept that whatever has happened in the past is not your fault. I am a person who is an addict. I suffered with addiction, mental health, and suicide. But that's not my story. It used to be a part of my life. Drugs is not the key. It's not even the answer. All drugs do is keep you in bondage. I'm free now. For the first time, I am free. I can smile. I have $1 in my pocket. And on top of that, I'm happy with myself. I guess most importantly, you have to learn to love yourself. You can sit up and say, it's that person's fault. Oh, my life is wrong. Okay, in some ways, it is their fault. But what do you do differently to make a difference? See, you're going to be held accountable for your life. If you choose to let drugs or alcohol, depression, sex, video games hinder and dictate your life, then that's no one's fault but your own. All I can tell you is, today I am free. And it's nothing like that type of freedom. Yeah, it took a long time to get here, but if you don't start it, then you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how to get out of it. So just know, no matter what, there's hope, there's help, and there's treatment out there. Don't give up, no matter what.
DC Walk for Recovery!
All right.
So swollen, and then when you get up out, when you get off the pedal boat, look, you like this.